Aliens laying down in your yard. What is the first thing you show them? Would you rather be stuck in a saw trap or the Squid Games? China doubles down on its claim that the sun bears in its zoo are real bears and not humans in costume. Would you rather lose your life savings or have a creepy possessed doll that lives with you for the rest of your life?
2, 1. Welcome to Barcast Comedy, where semi-pro comedians Zach and OldSchoolCurt answer crazy would-you-rather questions at random dive bars across America. No OldSchoolCurt today, but I am joined with Evan Johnson.
Is me.
He's a professional comedian.
I am. I did a weed show yesterday for money. It was crazy.
Do you get to get high while doing it?
Yeah, well, they just blow weed smoke at you. I actually rolled a joint. This is the joint I rolled last night, and then I was like, oh yeah, I'll bring this at the weed show. And they were like, no outside weed, and I was like, oh, I gotta leave my joint at home. So now I'm just carrying around a joint. I did leave it at home for anyone watching.
If this gets 10 likes, we'll spark it at the end of the video.
Yeah, they were very strict about no outside weed. So for anyone who was at that show, I didn't bring this.
All right, so let's just dive right into it. First question we always ask everybody is, have you ever been in a bar fight?
Yeah.
What's your bar fight record? Tell us about it.
I mean, like, they mostly just been, like, brawls, like, not, like, a big, like...
Okay, not one-on-one?
Yeah, I mean, the one-on-one ones, I'm for all of them, basically. Because I also would bounce at certain bars, Wide Right Denver, shout out. Basically, my job was just to sit there and take punches until the actual owner came by and was like, then took them off me and then dragged the guy out. Like, so, those, I don't know if those count as one-on-one fights, but I was losing those because could just take punches. But the last time I got in a bar fight, I didn't take those punches. It was a crowd. It'd been a while since I'd gotten punched, and then I was like, holy shit. The dude punched me, and then I thought he just hit me, and then I fell to the ground. Like, I thought he, like, hit me twice, and I was like, oh, fuck. And I fall down, and then, like, he started just fucking beating me up. But it turned out he had punched me so hard, I like blacked out, and then he took my face and bashed it into the bar, and then he punched me again, and that's when I fell down.
And you got no help?
Yeah, not really. Well, okay, to be fair, when I fell down, I like to keep stuff, I'm a little guy, so I like keep stuff on me for defense, I'll keep like a roll of quarters, or like I have like this kind of like buck knife that like folds up, and it like acts like a kind of like a fulcrum, you can punch somebody with. So I pull it out, and this fucking dude who knows me and also knew the guy who punched me had seen me like holding it because the guy had been threatening me all night. So like and he was like, let's go outside. Yeah. So I was holding it like getting ready for the fight, and so the dude punched me, and then by the I was like just blocking him. And so finally I went to get it when I fell down, and I pulled it out, and the dude who knew the both of us that wasn't in the fight starts yelling, he's got a knife. And so then a bunch more people started beating me up. So I didn't get any help, but that guy who was beating me up got help from other people, and the guy who was supposed to be my fucking friend, because he was like, oh, he's got a knife, and then the owner like tried to it was fucking nuts. But yeah, he punched me so hard that first time that I fully didn't remember him smashing my face into the bar. And so then like when I came back the next day, people were like, dude, that guy smashed your face into the bar, and I was like, everyone's misremembering this story. And
what are you talking about?
No, you got punched really hard.
You're like, show me the tape.
Yeah.
You're like, oh shit, I did.
The owner of the bar told me she had the tape still, and I was like, I want that for promo purposes so bad. I wanted to like just have like it as a GIF and just have my dates over it.
Playing,
yeah, just have my dates over it. It'd be a great promo. I could use it all the time forever. Like,
it should just be in the background every time you're performing stand up, like a video. Just always going.
I remember there was this old school comedy bar called El Chorrito, and like this dude was like yelling at one of the comics, and we all went outside, and then it turned out he had a bunch of friends at the bar already. It was like a separate kind of comedy room situation. So when we left the comedy room, it turned out so like there was like 4 of us comics, and we were like, oh yeah, I'm going fucking whatever, just like watch the fight basically. And then he had like 7 dudes with him, and we were like, oh, okay, maybe some of us should go back and get more dudes. And then we went to the patio, and then it became like a big brawl, and then someone set off pepper spray, and I just remember like we're all like fucking just like big melee, we're hitting each other, doing like backhands, and I was like oh fuck, yeah, shit, what's happening? And then we all started like running inside, and I remember the owner of the bar was ready next to the door with milk and just like holding it and just like pouring it on the people that he knew, and then like kicking out the people that was like, yeah, he was like, fuck you, here you go, fuck you, here you go, here you go, fuck you, here you go. It was insane. It was great.
Oh, that's awesome.
So like that's like an example of a win. I take that as a win, as a W.
I would count that as a dub.
But that's a team dub.
That's a team win there.
Yeah, that's a
like
team
some
W.
Anchorman fight.
Yeah, it was like an Anchorman fight. Honestly,
a bunch of comedians all dressed out.
Someone has a trident.
Yeah. All right, choose your useless superpower. You have the power to fly, but it sounds like you're ripping ass all the time, really loud, everybody hears. Or you have super strength, but your face gets like super bright red, like cartoon red. Every time like you lift anything, like even a pencil.
I think I would do the super strength thing because I already get that sometimes. Like even if I just like laugh too hard, like I'll get a vein in my forehead.
You're just like, I'll take the strength.
Yeah. I'll take the strength. I already look like super stressed. Like I love spicy food, but when I eat spicy food, I look like I'm not loving spicy food. Like I'll just start sweating so easy. I'll probably start sweating during this because it's hot. It's mildly warm, and I'm definitely gonna start being like. Also, I'm hungover, so that also counts. But yeah, I would do the strength thing for sure. Even though I would like to fly, and the farting would be funny. That would just be fun. I would like it just for the funniness. I think it'd be fun because
I just want to fly, and it would just be hilarious too. Just every time you got to go somewhere. All right, later, guys.
See, I would also have a paranoia though that just for no reason, because I'm this kind of neurotic person, that it would stop working at some point.
You would stop working.
Yeah, like,
you'd run out of farts.
Like if I could fly, I would be afraid. Yeah, I would think that. Like I'd be like, I don't know what's gonna happen, so I'd never fly. I'd just always be on the ground, and it'd be really kind of sad. I'd be like, I can fly, and I'd like float a little bit, and be like.
You're like, bro, you're just farting really hard.
yeah, but yeah, I would do the super strength because I already look like that, and also it's easy. You could impress broads with it, You can just do it right now.
Just lift stuff.
Yeah, it's an easy.
Then you grab your beer and you're just.
I feel like I already look like that. Like I said, I'm hungover, so I feel like my face already looks like that right now.
This next one's a good question. You get $2 million cash, but every time you leave your house, you have to eat a Pop-Tart. So, like, if you go, like, to leave for work, you forget your car keys, you have to go back in and go back out again, you have to eat a Pop-Tart. Or if you're making, like, hamburgers, and you got to go in multiple times to grab stuff, you got to eat a Pop-Tart every single time. You can toast it.
$2 million just one shot, tax-free.
Tax-free. But you just got to eat a Pop-Tart. And the Pop-Tarts are free. They come to you.
I'll be honest, that's kind of like a character flaw of mine, is that I do that shit a lot. I think it would, solve that character flaw of mine. So I'd take that. Yeah, I'd take that. Because, today I almost actually didn't make it. I had this joint already in my pants, and I was looking for it, so I went back inside to find the joint, and I was like, it's already in my fucking pants. Then I went to get outside my place, and I realized I left my keys, and I was thinking about the joint before I forgot about my keys. I was like, fuck, I gotta get my keys. And I went back and got that, and then I looked at my Uber, was like, hey, you're like a minute and a half past the time I was supposed to leave, and I was like, oh shit, I'm sorry, I didn't realize.
That's like 3 Pop-Tarts right there.
Yeah, dude, truly. Yeah, that's 3 Pop-Tarts. So I think it would help me get my shit together, you know what I'm saying? It would be like, I'm either gonna die of diabetes, or I'm gonna just figure out how to just take stuff out in one shot.
The other problem is the amount of milk you're gonna have to buy, because you can't be eating that much Pop-Tarts. You can't be eating that many dry. You're gonna be having to.
I just have water or beer. What am I, dude? I'm a grown man. I can't be drinking milk all the time.
I didn't know people didn't like milk until a month ago when my girlfriend told me that she didn't like milk.
I like milk. I know people are weird with milk. Yeah,
I drink gallons of milk.
See, I like milk. It's just as I gotten older, it starts fucking with me the same way. Actually, cheese for some reason doesn't fuck with me. But I've drank just coffee with milk in it.
Yeah.
And then I'll just have the most. First of all, it's a coffee shit. Then it's also a diarrhea lactose shit.
Yeah.
And just as I've gotten closer to 30, I'm like, oh no, that's what that is. I can't have boba tea or whatever, anything with any kind of lactose. I'm actually having this beer that has lactose in it. I read that and I was like, it's probably gonna fuck me up later. This will
be a good episode.
You can hear me burping as much as I am. It's already getting to me a little bit.
If this episode goes long enough, you'll crap your pants. We'll get kicked out by a wedding party. It's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be lit, dude. It's gonna be a lit lit wedding party for those people.
All right, aliens laying down, and you're the first person to meet them. What do you show them first thing? You can show them anything, place, item.
I can show them anything.
Yeah.
Anything on the world.
Yeah.
I have the
Earth,
alien abilities. They're like, hey, teleport us anywhere.
Yeah, you're gonna be like, come on, guys, I'm taking you here.
Can I give them suggestions of what to do there?
You're taking them there, so yeah, you could do that.
I think I would just take them to the White House and be like, kill everyone here.
God damn. I was on a completely different spectrum. I was trying to think about what I'd show him, and I'm like, I don't know. I'd probably just show him Impractical Jokers.
I'd be like, let's go to the UN. I mean, if I could bring the Impractical Jokers, if I have the aliens, multiversal quantum powers, I'd be like, hey, let's go and meet the Impractical Jokers to kill the UN.
And then kill the UN.
Let's see what happens. Let's do it.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, I should have showed him that. That would have made more sense to, like, bring him to him. I was just going to, like, show him it on my laptop.
Yeah.
Like, look at this.
Oh, yeah. See, that's what I was thinking. That's why I was like, do I have alien powers? I mean, do I get to, like,
I can help you.
and they do, like, a little forehead touch, and then I get, like, a little bit of their powers for a day or something? Or they understand English, and I'd be like, hey, let's go. The place on Pennsylvania Street.
Come on, right over here. Which movie would you rather be stuck in? Saw, the horror movie? Like, just one Saw trap? Or you have to survive Squid Games all the way to the end?
Squid Games, because that one, you die kind of quick, I think. Saw movies, I fucking hate those Saw movies.
You
but
die.
like,
It's a horrific death, but you could. I feel like there's a higher chance of surviving. You would just have to, like, rip out your eyeball, but you would
I don't
survive.
think I have the fortitude for that. I don't think I do, honestly. Like, I don't have the will to live that I would. And I'm saying this, I've tried to kill myself, but I don't have the will to live enough to, like, dig my eye out and then still be like, this is fine. Like, you ever seen Hostel? You ever seen the movie Hostel?
Yeah.
At the end when that girl gets, like, all burned or whatever, and then she sees her reflection and throws herself in front of that train, I'm that girl. I was like, I get that, lady. I understand that.
Yeah. Squid Games, I mean, I feel like the first few are pretty easy, like kid games, There's a decent chance. But yeah, that's a good point. You at least go out quick if you do. They just blow your head off. They don't make you gouge your eye out.
Yeah. They just shoot you in the face. Like, it's pretty humane.
Choose your drunk superpower. You can only use a superpower when you're blackout drunk.
Blackout? Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
You can read people's minds while blackout drunk. But you're going to blurt out like everything because you're blackout. Or you have Spider-Man web shooters out of your hands.
Oh, web
But you can only
shooters.
use them blackout drunk.
Web shooters, yeah, web shooters for sure. Because I would use that to get home, and that way I would save so much money on Lyfts and Ubers and stuff. But if I had the mind reading thing, I would forget that I had it, and then I would be like Professor X as a child, just freaking out, being like, "It's too much, it's too much," like freaking out. That would ruin me. That'd just like break my brain every time it happened, and I get blackout drunk too much for that to happen.
I'd love to see you trying to, fly home on spider webs drunk, swinging through the streets.
I would probably just web myself to like a train and then just drag myself behind the
You
train.
just hold on to it.
I'd be like, yeah.
Just dragging
I'd
you.
probably have to go through a lot of shoes in hindsight, but maybe it'd be cheaper than Lyfts sometimes.
Yeah.
One Lyft sometimes costs a whole ass pair of shoes.
For real. Yeah. And also that would be good for bar fights too, That would help you out. You're Spider-Man in bar
would.
fights. You
I've
put on
seen-
the mask and they're like, what is he doing?
I've seen Spider-Man use his powers in so many different cool ways. He can web up his hands and make them like boxing gloves, and people be like, "Yeah, I haven't thought of that." I'm like, "Yeah, 'cause you can read Spider-Man, bitch," and I just beat the shit out of him. But also, I just want to point out, Spider-Man's web shooters are not a power. It's from the Tobey Maguire movies. They fucking got that wrong. I just want to point that out because I'm a nerd. Just had to point that out.
Yeah, I wish Curt was here. He's the one for all this movie stuff to debate. But this question's for him. I saw in your story you said Han Solo movie was a good movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
How is that a
People
good
are wrong.
movie? It's just like Indiana Jones, but like
Yeah.
with the spaceship.
Yeah, that's what a Han Solo movie's supposed to be. It's fucking the same character. Literally, they made Star Wars, and then George Lucas was like, "Oh, I want to make another one of these," and then he was like, "But I'm pretty bad at making movies," so he got Spielberg to make this fucking like a Han Solo movie with his friend Harrison Ford. It was supposed to be a Tom Selleck movie, and then they were like, "Oh, wait, this is just Han Solo," and then the rest is history. But it was a fucking great movie. It's him doing a little train heist, and they do a little fight with they do the standoff with Woody Harrelson. It's great. It's a great movie. I love it. It's a really good movie.
I guess, yeah. Can you imagine like Han Solo got frozen like in kryptonite, for like 1,000 years?
Kryptonite is the green
Oh,
rock
man.
that Superman is weak to.
Curt, old school Curt hates Disney Star Wars.
Oh really?
It'd be a
He's one
bar
of those. He's one of those. See,
Yeah.
I don't like all of it. Like Boba Fett was bad. That show Boba Fett was terrible. Fucking, I actually didn't even like Andor. People were like, "It's like a war show," and I was like, "Oh, you mean boring? Like how my dad likes?" Yeah, it's fucking terrible. I don't like it. But then I ended up liking it. I ended up enjoying it.
Yeah.
Once Andy Serkis came through, and I was like, "Hey, Golem's here. I like that. I like it." And Snoke. He's already been in this series. How is he?
Yeah. All right, let's do another movie one. Which Pixar movie would you rather be stuck in for the rest of your life? Ratatouille, where rats. There's
Rule
like
the
rats.
world?
Yeah, can control people.
There's a secret rat underground.
Monsters,
that
Inc.?
controls the world. Oh, okay.
Or Toy Story, and like toys come to life.
Well, technically speaking, Monsters Inc. Technically, we are in Monsters Inc. right now.
That is actually a good point. We could be and never even know.
Yeah. The monsters are just supposed to be good, except for at the end of that movie. I guess they're like comedy monsters, which I haven't seen any comedy monsters around. I'm not getting scared by any comedy monsters. But what was the third one?
Toy Story. toys come to life.
See, that one also, we could be in that. We don't know.
Yeah.
They're trying to hide it. That one's actually more likely. I'd say Monsters Inc. I think would be the one because they're comedy monsters. I want to have comedy monsters like just at night come through and it's fucking Billy Crystal's voice is being like, "Hey, what are you doing? I got one eye, or whatever."
You got like a scorecard. You're like 5.
Mike Wazowski. I just remember when he sang his name. I don't remember any bits from that movie. Remember there were doors. It was a fun movie.
Toy Story would make me. I feel like I'd be schizophrenic though. I'd always be looking at toys like holding them hostage.
Yeah. See,
Like,
I used to jerk.
trying to trap 'em.
See, I was one of those weird kids that like used to jerk off to Barbie. So then that would make me feel weird later on if I found out that they were all alive and just like dead face watching me while I'm like, I'm just 3 inches from my face.
You're like, "Ow, this is awkward."
And I'm like, that thing was alive, and they're like.
So being a comedian, what was the first joke you ever wrote when you wanted to do stand-up comedy?
I remember I had like just random dumb stories from like my work and like I guess it happened when I was probably 17 and it was at my job and it was just like a story I had, but like I remember we would go to parties and my friends and I weren't invited to that many parties, but we would go to like gatherings and sometimes a party once a year or some
Uninvited,
shit.
but we were
and
there.
yeah, truly, that would happen a lot. We'd be like, we're gonna fucking see what they're doing. But like they would literally be like, tell his story, like do the fucking Jungle Gym story. And it was at my job. I worked at Boondocks Fun Center up in Northglenn. I don't know if you've ever been there.
Okay.
But it's like
Yeah.
a Dave and Buster's type, but more like family friendly. And they had like a giant jungle gym there, like a giant kind of wipeout, like they had all these obstacles, like crazy big bouncy balls, and it's like 3 stories high, right? And this little kid once like climbed to the top of the jungle gym. I was working at laser tag, so I wasn't like near the jungle gym. Was like in the middle of the arcade, and I'm on the outside of the arcade. And so this kid climbed to the top of the jungle gym and then shit his pants. Which is the worst. It's just annoying, like how dumb little kids are, being like, I have to shit. There's probably a shitter up there. Like, no, just shit first and then go on top of the jungle gym. But he went up and they shit his shorts. He was wearing shorts, and the shit fell out of the shorts onto not the ground below, to the skee ball machines that were right under where he had shit, like because of the way the jungle gym was designed. And so it landed on these skee ball machines, and then
Did they hit 100 at least?
a separate, unrelated group of kids came up and started playing skee ball through the poop.
Oh.
And started just smearing it and getting it all on their own hands and on the balls. And then they just started playing video games throughout the arcade. And it just like caused pandemonium. Like as soon as the parents realized what had happened, they were like, everyone, there's poop everywhere. And again, I wasn't even I was like in the outskirts of the arcade. So I just saw the shit shockwave coming at me. And it was like insane. And the joke part of it that I like ended up doing on stage was like, I saw a guy walk towards me with a little poopy handprint on his face. He was like, "Save yourself!" And then he died of pink eye. So that's why I don't fuck with kids. Like that's. But it was truly like insane. We had to wash all the arcade games.
Just burn the place down at that point. Insurance claim.
They got all the kids. They like gathered them all together. They were like, "We get them all." They put it sequestered them into like the restaurant area, and then they brought like a big thing of Clorox wipes. Had the parents just wiping down all their fucking hands, wiping down their faces, doing everything they get, forgetting that they had wiped down their shitty hands, and then wiping their faces down, and being like, "Oh no!" And then having to get another Clorox wipe, and then we're just having to go through. I had to stop laser tag. I was like, they were like, "Close down laser tag. Close down laser tag. You're coming and just helping clean the shit off of everything."
No survivors. Get 'em out.
Yeah. And the idea for the poopy handprint was there was literally a little poopy handprint on one of those dumb coin sliding or you put it in and it pushes the coins or whatever the fuck. It was just a little poopy handprint on there, and I was like, this is like Alien but with poop. This is horrible. It was a fucking nightmare. But that's I think the earliest, probably the earliest one I can remember of I can do that on stage. Probably I didn't do it for probably a good 2 years into comedy because I was just I just forgot about it. And then eventually I think I was hanging out with my friends being I think I had writer's block, and I was like, "Hey, do you guys remember any stories that I have?" And they're immediately like, "Oh, the shit shockwave story. You should do the shit shockwave story on stage." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I should do that. That's a good one." And then a couple more years later, probably when I was 4 years in, I lived in a garage at the time, and I was doing shows out of the garage, and I had a couple friends there, and it was a pretty good show, and it probably 20 to too many people were there.
That's impressive for a garage.
For a garage, yeah, it was too many people standing outside and shit, and it was a kind of biggish garage. It's probably as big as that little fucked up area.
Okay.
People there can't see, but
Yeah.
it was like pretty big.
The thing that's over there.
Yeah, there's like a weird garage thing over there. Yeah, so I had my friends there, and I did that story, and I remember my friends coming up to me and being like, and one of them who I think maybe because I do only talk to some of my friends about like my jokes, like I like take advice from like some of them, so I get a lot of them who were there weren't part of that conversation. Like, what should I do from like old stories? And so a bunch of them came up to me after the show and were like, the fuck was that? That was like half the stuff you've already told us. Like, we know those stories. And I was like, oh yeah, I do those on stage for money now. And they're like, you invited us to your house, made us pay you, and then you told us stories we already know? What the fuck just happened? I'm like, that's on you. You should have seen that coming.
That's great.
Yeah, I still remember to this day, my friends just being like, what the hell is that?
I mean, that kind of works for my next question, too, which was going to be, do you have any hometown scandals? Or, like, what's the story from, like, your high school, hometown? Everybody always brings up.
I mean, it's weird. I grew up in like a smaller town, and we didn't have that many scandals for the small town because it wasn't like the kind of small town where like maybe it was, and like my family was just weird and sheltered because my mom and dad were like, you don't go play with the neighbors, you don't do that kind of weird shit. Like our cousins lived near us, so like we would go hang out with them all the time. But we wouldn't like hear a lot of the gossip. But I do remember in high school there was this one teacher who was like beloved. Like even he was a science teacher. Even if you weren't like part of his because he also coached drumline, and those kids were like, they worshipped him. Like, but if you even weren't part of that, you still knew like this guy's cool. He's awesome. He was a little tiny dude too, and he looked really young. He looked probably in hindsight. To us, he looked like he was like our age, but he was probably like 28 or something like that. He's probably as old as I am now. Everyone loved this dude, and he ended up just like one year disappearing. And it was like super weird, and it was like our senior year, me and my friends. And I remember like these drumline kids like loved him so much. Like I remember they shaved their heads for him like once because they were just like we're all just gonna shave our heads. Like it wasn't even like a cancer thing. It was just like we're all just gonna shave our heads, and it's gonna be just like our thing, and then we'll all grow together, and it'd be like a team building, whatever the fuck. Like I've seen football teams do that too. I remember he was like, I know a bunch of you smoke weed, and it's fine with me and whatever you do during the summer, but if you cannot smoke weed during like the drumline season, he had like some prize for them. I don't even remember what the prize was, but it was more on like a principle thing. So like I remember this kid being such a stoner and not smoking weed for the whole school year just because he respected this dude so much. And this one year he just disappeared. All the drumline kids are sad and like don't want to talk about it, and we're all like, why the fuck? Turned out, and it wasn't even that scandalous, he like ended up dating a student that he'd had like 4 years prior. But it's not even that bad. That's not that bad. She's 21 at that point. He's 28. That's like fine. Like if I'm dating a 21-year-old, that's fine. But I mean, yeah, you did teacher in school. That's a little weird, and like it could, it was kind of hot a little bit too. I don't know.
Well, the funny part is I'm currently working on putting a montage together because every time I ask that question, about 70% of the time, it just goes to high school teacher banging student.
Yeah.
And
But
I'm like,
this one wasn't even that. But everyone treated it like it was
man.
that. Like
I thought you were gonna say he was faking cancer. He was just bald. And everybody shaved their heads for nothing.
oh man, we had a lot of cancer kids in our school. Maybe in hindsight, there was something in the water.
Yeah.
It was weird how many kids in our school got cancer to like a point. I think I even remember bringing it up like senior year. I was like, I'm surprised no one in our friend group got cancer. Good for us, you guys. I think like every like friend group got cancer, and we somehow avoided it. We smoke weed, smoke cigarettes, fucking do acid, we do all crazy shit. We didn't have anything wrong with us. Nice.
China Zoo has doubled down that the sun bears in their zoo are real.
Are not human, yeah.
Yeah, have you seen those?
I saw the butt picture of it, like, it looks fake as fuck. Yeah, what the hell?
Are they real or fake? What is your thoughts on this?
His face is, like, clearly frozen in, like, an open mouth position.
It's the butt that gets it for me.
See, the butt, I can see the butt. I've seen, like, videos of bears in America doing weird shit like that. Where, like, walking upright. Like, there's one bear that, like, broke his back, and then, like, he fell in a certain way, and then it healed a certain way, and then he just, like, walks upright now. I think he died, like, a couple years later from a blood clot or something. It was like, oh, no, you probably should have kept an eye on that, instead of being like, you walk like a person.
But yeah, then I Googled him afterwards, and I actually think it's a real bear. That sun bears just really have derpy butts like that.
I think
They're
maybe
flat.
there's like two, like, is there just one in that like exhibit, or is there like several? Because I think like it could be a thing of like they're trying to be like, no, it's not endangered. Like, I feel like trying to do that kind of shit and just like have one live one and be like, no, see, he's interacting with the others, and they just have two dudes in bear suits pretending to be bears, like, don't fucking eat me, don't fucking eat.
The only reason it seems real though is because it's China. I would totally believe that they would do that and try to pass that off.
Yeah, China's lit.
Oh, let me tell a funny joke I saw off TikTok. I'll steal it, but then we'll cut that out from the clip so they'll think it's mine, and it'll be great.
Hell yeah.
But anyway, so my buddy worked at the zoo, and the gorilla passed away, and the gorilla made him the most money. It was our most popular animal in the zoo. Yeah. So they asked my buddy to fill in and be the gorilla, like in a gorilla suit, for a couple days till they could get a new one. And he's like, hell no, I ain't doing that. That's messed up. But then they offered him a huge bonus, thousands of dollars. So he said fine, and he did it. Right. So a week goes by. He's still in the gorilla suit. Things are going great. People love him. He's the main star of the zoo now.
Yeah.
Zoo. Eventually, after a couple other weeks of still being it, the zoo dies down, and they're getting desperate. They're like, come on, you got to do something more to get these people's attention. You're losing them. Yeah. So he finally gets bold one day, and he starts swinging on a tree branch above the lions exhibit. And he's going crazy. The crowd's loving it. And then he slips, and he falls into the exhibit, and the lion starts walking up to him, and he starts freaking out, screaming like crazy, help, help, help. And that's when the lion goes up to him, dude, shut the fuck up, or you're going to ruin this for all of us.
That's pretty good. That's a fun like joke that an old man would tell me that I think was gonna suck at a bar, but then once I heard it, I'd be like, oh, that was good. Actually.
Oh, that was half decent.
Yeah. If someone caught me saying that at a bar, like at certain times, I'd be like, I'm done halfway through. Fuck you. I'm gonna fight you.
We're fighting.
I don't know why. Like when people like try to tell me jokes, it makes me so mad. Like there's something in me that like you know, like the visceral kind of rage you get when like when your sibling does something. Like I get that when people try to tell me jokes. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking, especially if I'm like drunk and it's nighttime. At daytime, I'm more accepting, but if it's nighttime, I'm like, this is supposed to be my off hours. Don't fucking.
Yeah, I'm off the clock right now. We ain't doing this.
If old men are telling me jokes during the daytime, I'm like, hell yeah, say something racist. I might be able to put it in my act. Come on.
I also saw Subway this weekend was doing a contest, and they're going to pick one random fan who changed their legal name to Subway, and they're going to give them free Subway for life. So is there any companies that you would do that for? Change your name to?
Ooh, damn! That just like opens up so many. I just had so many ideas. Like GE. I get a car that way, a free refrigerator. I get a fucking
like fucking. I'll be a walking advertisement.
My power. I would be free if my name was GE, General Electric.
That's way I was thinking like Chick-fil-A stuff small, and you're like, nah, I'm taking a free Lamborghini's my new name.
Yeah, for real. Like I just be like, I don't know, my name's fucking Lockheed Martin. Can I have a rocket now, please?
Yeah.
Whatever crazy rocket cars you're working on for the military, can I have that? That seems sick. Can I have a weird radar gun? I just want to melt people from across the bar.
Yeah,
come on. All of a sudden, they start throwing up their guts, and I'm just sitting over there laughing with a weird radar gun. Mattel, dude, I'd do Mattel. They have their hands in everything. It's real. That's not a conspiracy. They make the grip for the AR-15. You know that? Mattel. That's Mattel. And Barbie. And Hot Wheels.
That's the best answer for that question. All right, this next one is one question with OldSchoolCurt. He'll be saying it on screen there, but I got to say it for you.
I thought you were just going to sit here silently and just have me be like...
It's a Family Guy cutscene.
I don't like editing around it, so if we just can be quiet for as long as his segment
we got to stall till he gets in.
Welcome to Questions with OldSchoolCurt. If you had 3 people to play Dungeons & Dragons with, celebrity or mythical, who would you pick? And make it freaking cool.
I would say Robert J. Oppenheimer. After saying Oppenheimer, he seems like he stresses a lot, and he'd be funny to play Dungeons & Dragons with. You're like, I don't know what decision to make. And like, whatever, bro, you're fucking Florence Pugh. Why don't you just fuck Florence Pugh and shut up about it? You said I like that it was real or mythical, or celebrity or mythical. Like technically fake people are celebrities.
Or you can pick normal people too.
But I just like that it's like not like it's not like celebrities or like fake like fictional characters. It was real. It was celebrities or mythical. That's the phrasing. I like that.
Like Peter Griffin. I was thinking feel like those are allowed.
Yeah. I just love the idea of Peter Griffin as mythical. Oh, see, I'm just thinking of, like, smart people now. I'm like, who would, like, be good at, like, coming up with stories?
Some funny ones I was thinking was Kanye West.
Ooh,
I think he would just
good,
be interesting.
Yeah. He'd be weird and, like, racist towards races you wouldn't think he'd be racist towards, you know? He'd just, like, being like, get all these paladins out of my... Get these, fucking dwarfs out my atmosphere. I don't want these dudes here.
Another one I think would be funny would be Joe Biden, because I think I could convince him everything happening in the game happened in real
it was
life.
real?
That we,
Yeah.
we slayed that dragon, Joe.
See, I think Trump would be fun because he would just be doing him, and then, but like, he's doing a character, obviously. We all know he's doing a bit. And this whole thing of like, she's ugly, no. But then he would be doing that in the thing, and then he'd be able to hide behind even more. It's a character. I'm just saying it as the character. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just, a sweet dwarf that, just happens to prefer a certain body type. You would just be like an asshole on top of an asshole. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Another one I probably would choose would be like Danny DeVito, just for the vibes.
Oh, yeah,
I just want to hang out with him, People,
Or, the three Always Sunny guys, in or out of character.
Oh, yeah, just...
No, Dennis would have to be in character because I want him to get mad.
Would you rather lose all your life savings, all your money, go back to broke, $0?
I'm currently at that, so already this question is null and void. I'm already currently at that.
Well, that answers that, but we'll still save the rest. Or have a possessed doll that lives with you for the rest of your life.
And I have money? Possessed doll. Possessed doll. If I have money and I have a possessed doll, I'm fine with having...
You're like, the doll's paying rent, right?
Become friends with the possessed doll, honestly. I can befriend a possessed doll. I look like a possessed doll. I can be friends with a possessed doll.
You're like, that sounds great.
Yeah. With a Toy Story scenario, back to that again. Maybe I could... Who knows? Who knows?
Is it single?
Yeah. No, there's Ken. Damn it.
Damn it. All right, this next one's a visual, but it's hard to see my phone, so I'll just say it. Rank these 3 Sullys. We got Sully, Monsters Inc., Sully from Avatar, and Sully the pilot.
Sully from Avatar. Who's Sully from Avatar?
The main Avatar. Blue guy.
Okay.
Body, and the pilot. Landed the
So
plane, in the river. I hope it's the one who landed the one in the river. That'd be bad.
Yeah.
I didn't do enough research if so.
The Avatar one's on the bottom. I liked Avatar when it came out. That one time I saw it, and then every subsequent time it's been diminishing returns for me. And I'm like, this movie fucking is terrible. I hate it. I hate that actor, Sam Worthington. He's bad. He's just bad. He's barely disguising his American accent or his Australian accent. People are like, oh, it's better in the second one. I'm like, the second one's 10 years after the fucking first one. It better be better, or else they should have just recasted him. What the hell are you talking about? It's better than in the fucking first one. And then I'd say, Sully Who Landed the Plane Upside Down. That was lit, dude. So he's number 1, and then Sully Monsters Inc. is number 2. Yeah. So that's the cool. That's like, to me, like, Sully Sullenberger lived every guy's dream. And that's what every dude wants to do, is flip a plane upside down and land it and save everyone.
Yeah, it's always like I see the meme, like if they ever ask if there's a pilot on board of a plane, you always say yes, because if you're gonna die, you might as well die flying a plane.
Yeah, have you ever heard of Sky King?
Sky King, no.
Okay, he was a guy who, he's just a weirdo guy. Like, he had like a fiance that he like broken up with. Just a normal white guy, but he like always wanted to be a pilot. But he just worked at like an airline. Like, he just like was a baggage handler or some shit. But he'd like done a couple simulations, but like he'd like barely even gone to the school. And then I think he had like a health thing that like kept him from actually being a pilot, like a commercial pilot at least. And so he got like super depressed one day, and he went and I'm probably butchering this story, and there's probably way more deeper to it, but he ended up stealing a fucking like commercial airliner, like a fucking JetBlue or something like that, like just like a Frontier plane, like not like a jet, like just like a Frontier, like something that you or I would fly out like to visit our family or something. And he stole this plane. No one's on it.
Okay, that's what I was gonna ask. Just him, or did he take a plane people?
He did. It was just like on a whim. He just decided, like, one day he's like working, and he just decided, like, fuck it. He got on, looked around, no one's in the plane, and he's like, oh, okay. No one's hooking up the gas, so he's like, all right, I'm just gonna, and he like starts going it, and he flies it, and he takes it off. He like actually starts the plane going, and he's flying it, and he flies it for like 2 hours or something like that, like 2 or 3 hours, and he's just flying around, and they get like the Air Force on, like, and they're like tailing him with jets, like after a while, and they're being like, hey man, you just bring it down, you've been doing a really good job, you're flying really well, man, like you could probably land this plane, and once you land, you're probably not gonna be in that trouble. And he's like, man, this has caused a lot of trouble for lots of people, hasn't it? I probably shouldn't have done this. And he's like, you can tell, like, he's been sad for a while, and he's just like a very clearly depressed dude. I relate to this guy so much. And he fucking is like, man, I'm just gonna maybe try to do a couple of maneuvers, and then, that'll probably be it for me. Like, clearly just being like, I'm gonna crash when I do these maneuvers. So he goes and does a barrel roll, which he fucking pulls off. He thought he was gonna die. He says, "I'll just probably do this maneuver and that'll be it for me." He does like 3 barrel rolls, and the dudes on the intercom are like, "Holy shit, dude, you're pulling these things off. Dude, just land. You're clearly very good at flying. Like, maybe you go to jail for a while, but you could probably like get a pilot's license. Like, what the fuck is
We'll
happening?"
hire you.
Like, they're truly just like blown away, and he just keeps going, "Oh yeah, I'm probably just gonna do one more maneuver." And he just does that over and over until eventually he just barrel rolls into the side of a mountain and dies. But it was so like, man, that guy pulled it off. He did everything he wanted to do in life, except for getting married because his fiance broke up with him right before he did that. But you know, everything else he got to do in his life.
I respect that guy. I'll drink to that.
Yeah, dude, Sky King. Fucking cheers to Sky King, dude.
Sky King.
Man, like people like in hindsight weren't even mad. Like people like now he's just like a legend. Like people are like Sky King rips. His name is Sky King. They call him Sky King.
It's for a reason.
I think that was based off like his like MSN like flight simulator name or whatever. Like his name was like Sky King 69 or some shit.
Yeah.
But people were like, dude, yeah, he was a Sky King. He pulled a barrel in a commercial liner. That's nuts. Like.
Yeah, here's another good question. Oh, what's the weirdest group chat name that you're in with your
I
friends?
mean, my friends always. I'm only in one group chat because I fucking cannot stay in group chats. They drive me nuts. I even like have my notification. I don't like notifications on my phone. That's like a thing with me. Like every time my phone goes off and I'm not expecting it, like I'm texting a chick or something. This is what I try to explain to girls when I tell them this.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm texting you. You have boobs, so that's fine. You can text me as much as you want. I'll reply as much as I need to see your boobs. But if it's like my friends, like if I'm getting a text at like 4, if I get a text like right now, I would get fucking immediate, like you would see my forehead vein just start popping out for no reason. I'd probably like play it cool, but I'd still like secretly just like fucking I'll kill myself. So like I keep my notifications off even for the one group chat I'm in, but I keep it so I can see when the messages come up. So like I'll be able to see like 26 messages. And I'm like, Christ, but at least my phone wasn't vibrating. And they change the name every time. What's the name right now? I bet we've had a couple messages. Yep, okay, what's the name of it right now? What is it? It's funny that it did come up. They did send me something. Oh, they're making fun of me with a Jimmy Neutron gif. Nice. It's called the Starfield Area.
Starfield Area?
Which is a video game joke, I think, of that game Starfield. But it was called, like, Shrek House before. It was called, what was it? There was several other names. I wish I'd, like, see the history of the names. Because, yeah, there's been several other just dumb names.
See, we just make a lot of group chats. So I have a lot of the names to still go back through. So, like, some of mine, we got the Quiet Con Nation, the Spank Bank Vault, the HoFL, the Ultra HoFL, the Ultra Supreme HoFL, the Supreme Ultra HoFL. I think there's like 3 more HoFLs after me.
There was, okay, recently.
There's Randy's Trash at Madden.
Just making fun of a guy. I like that. I like people have weird like Wi-Fi names. You ever like be in an apartment complex, like you're hanging out with like a chick or something, and you're like just turn on your phone and it does that pop up like, oh, do you want to hook up with Wi-Fi? And you just see like someone in an apartment complex like, I'm gonna murder Tim 4-2, and you're just like, what the hell is those guys hate each other, love each other. I can't tell what the fuck that is.
Yeah. One of my favorite things is my Wi-Fi password's like 25 characters. It's something stupidly long, so I don't have to give it to people because people don't want to enter it.
Right, yeah.
It's the perks of that.
I was in a group chat that was for the, Comedy Works, the comedy club. So they were doing the New Faces contest. And they've been making group chats for like each round, which I like. I enjoy that they're doing that. The way you know what date you're on and like what's going on specifically, if there are any changes in the time or anything. And one of the dudes in it, and I don't feel bad for saying his name because he's a comic, and also he beat me in the contest, so fuck you. But no, he's a funny guy. But he I don't know what happened. He said it was like a pocket dial thing, but just randomly, he starts like just weird like let me see what it. Oh, he unsent all the shit that he. Damn it! I hate that Facebook does that now. I probably have screenshots somewhere. But he said start just being like random words and being like almost like very clear that thing of like your voice to text went off, and now you're like it's just picking up like whatever's around you and shit like that. So clearly that's what was happening, and then all of a sudden we get like a picture. And it's like him like flexing in the mirror in the gym. And the guy who like runs the New Faces thing, Roger, he like responds, he's just like, excuse me? And then he's like, oh, sorry, butt dial. And he just unsent all this stuff. And then Roger's put this gif in there which just says, I'm sorry, what? And he was like, "Oh, sorry, Pocket and Scream teamed up to make me look like an asshole." And then Roger renamed the group chat to Denver Hot and Ready Singles. Because it's clearly just like a thing he meant to send to some guy, and it was like, "Oh, buddy, you fat thumbed that or something.
Yeah.
You should have looked at your screen harder, taken a few more breaths after those reps." You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. All right, we're going way long, but we got 2 more movie segments we got to finish here with.
hell yeah.
For you. All right, so this first one is top 5 movies that my girlfriend has not seen.
That
She may be my ex-girlfriend by the time this releases. But yeah, she hasn't seen a lot of movies, so I'm just going to give you the list and we'll get your reaction to it.
I love this kind of shit, actually.
Coming in at number 5, for movie that my girlfriend has never seen, we have Top Gun 1 and 2.
Okay, I've seen 2. I haven't seen 1. I saw 1 when I was like a really little kid, but
Yeah, I haven't seen Top Gun 2, so I give that one a little slack. But Top Gun 1, that's crazy. You haven't
Top
seen.
Gun 2 is pretty lit.
At least you've seen one of them.
when I watch movies at home, I normally jerk off at some point between them. But Top Gun 2 is so interesting, I never jerked off during it.
Oh my god, that's great. All right, number 4, we got coming in National Treasure.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I mean, I can see that. Those
Nicolas
movies
Cage.
suck in hindsight. I tried to watch one recently, and I was like, "Oh, this is bad."
Fair enough. I think they made a Disney series of it, and I was like, oh, there's
Yeah.
no Nicolas Cage. I'm like, I don't want to see this shit.
Yeah, I think Justin Barth is in it at some point. It was like, "Oh yeah, the guy from The Hangover and this. It's nice."
Yeah. Coming in at number 3, this one's not a little controversial, but Osmosis Jones with Eddie Murphy.
I love that movie. It's not Eddie Murphy. It's Chris
No,
Rock. People
yeah,
say
Chris
that all
Rock
the
and
time.
Bill Murray.
Why do people say it's Eddie Murphy all the time? That's like a common thing. It's like the Berenstain Bears shit.
I
Like,
love that movie too. I can't believe I got that wrong.
that one's kind of surprising, but also it's a weird ass movie. I watched that recently. It is fucking gross. Like, not even the inside the body stuff. Like, Bill Murray's being very disgusting in that movie when he's like eating an egg and it's like falling off his lip, and there's like one piece of egg stuck on his lip. It's so as I can see. I'm fine with someone not seeing that movie. I wish I could get that movie erased from my brain, or at least the live action parts of that movie erased from my brain.
All right, this is where we get juicy on the list. So coming in at number 2, we got Forrest Gump, the movie.
Oh yeah, that's
Never
one.
seen it. I don't even know what it's about, really.
I know that people like hate on that movie now, but I really do enjoy that
Yeah.
movie a lot. I love that movie. That's a
And
good
number
movie.
1, craziest movie that she's never seen is The Beat Movie with Jerry Seinfeld.
I guess you
Cult classic.
didn't it bomb?
No, it's the greatest movie of all time.
Cult classic. It's funny you call it a cult classic because it's literally called B movie, like a movie that would get a cult following.
love it.
I do like that movie. I like that movie more than lots of people do. B. Larry David or B. Larry King.
Yeah. All right, and then let's do one more movie question here we got. Replace every character in a movie with Muppets except for one character. What movies are you picking? So everybody in the movie's a Muppet except for like one person. Main character, side character.
I would say.
So you know it could be like Star Wars and Darth Vader's just killing a bunch of Muppets.
I was gonna say Star Wars, but Chewbacca's the only real
Chewbacca.
thing. Chewbacca's the only real thing there. So everything else is Muppets, and then there's a dude in a furry suit just being like. Or Dune. Dune would be lit, but then the sandworm's real.
Yeah,
but
it's just the
since they're
sandworm.
Muppets, it can just be a regular worm, just like camera tricked to look big.
It's unique.
Yeah.
I was thinking ones would be funny too, be like Saving Private Ryan, but just like Matt Damon. So it's just a Muppets movie, you know?
That'd be good.
the very end, or like-
Reservoir Dogs, but the only person who's real is the guy they torture and cut
Yeah.
his ear off. He's the only thing that's real. It's just that guy. They're just mutilating a real man.
Yeah, that'd be great. Or that was the last one I was seeing was like The Martian. Same thing.
Yeah.
He goes back to Earth. It's all Muppets.
And then he doesn't have any reaction. He's just like, my friends and
Yeah,
family.
I missed you
My
guys."
wife. I'm going to have sex with my wife. And it's a Muppet.
It's Big Bird. Just, yeah.
That'd be great. Hell yeah.
Yeah. All right, that's been all for this episode of the Barcast. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. Check us out on YouTube, as we're giving away a toaster at 10K on there.
Is that true?
That's true.
Hell
We're going to
yeah.
sign it and all.
Hell yeah, dude. Toaster? Hell yeah.
Tell them where to find you, Evan. Anything will be linked down below and on screen, so you don't need to spell it
Evan
out.
Jokeson on everything, basically. It's like Evan Johnson, but with the word jokes, because that's a joke.
I thought that was your name,
That's
actually,
fun.
like
People-
until this morning.
There's a guy named Evan Joe in the scene, and people tag him instead of me all the time, and it's fine. Or tag him as me because they think it's like him adding to his name. I'm like, clearly it's a play off the word Johnson.
Yeah.
Anyway, but and then I have a show at Wide Right Denver every first Thursday. It's called the Comedy Talent Show, and it's a very fun show.
All right, subscribe. Doo-doo-doo.